Hi everybody and welcome to this video, and this video, you may have gathered already, is all about dragons and dragon energy and how I've been working and connecting with the dragons in my life over the last couple of years. This is the last video I made on dragons, I think about 2 years ago. I do not know where time has gone. Life, yeah, just life really. But over the last few years they have been really present in my life and really present in my world, and I wanted to share this video with you guys to share some of the experiences and some of the wisdom that I have received from the dragons, and also share with you ways of connecting with dragon energy if you feel drawn to connecting with dragons. So I did my first video on dragons, I think it was about 2 years ago, and that's when the major journey with dragons began. They appeared beforehand. I may have spoken about this in my last video, I can't really remember, it was 2 years ago, but they first appeared in my life, well they always were, I feel like they were always there when I wanted to go to sleep, and I would dream and I would go to sleep visualising that I was flying on the back of a dragon into dream. So that's one memory that I've had for a very long time. But in a way that it manifested in a ceremony in Stonehenge about 7 years ago, I was calling in the element of fire in Stonehenge, and suddenly, boom, this humongous fire dragon just landed. I did do a piece of art which I might put in here somewhere to remember that experience, not that I'll ever forget, and to try and visualise it and put it into an image. But it was a dragon, and the energy of that was one of the most powerful things I think I've ever experienced in ritual, in circle, in magic, ever. And it was also not expected, because I'd called fire into circle lots of times in different places, never in Stonehenge before. And yeah, I think he showed me, if you're calling the element in Stonehenge, prepare for the big, fat, wow version of the element. So yeah, that was amazing. So that's, but you know, as you do, sometimes have these really amazing magical experiences, and they just gestate for a while. They're not always ones that you are able to have the time to move on with directly. It can come back 3, 4, 5 years later, 10 years later. But sometimes things happen, I feel, and they happen for a reason, to put you on a certain path. So you remember this moment. So you go, yep, you're here for this. Get on with your life for a while and come back to it later. I think that's what it was with the dragons particularly. And I did get into a different path from them, but it wasn't specifically thinking about the dragons. So, as I mentioned in the last video 2 years ago, I think, of this, I was on a retreat, and it was an elemental retreat, and each day we did a different element, and each day a different elemental dragon came to me, and it was just really funny because no one else had dragon energy coming through, so it wasn't like it was a dragon retreat. And it was just interesting how they came through so strongly, and from that moment onwards I was really, I painted them, and I was really connecting with dragon energy. Shortly after that, sort of an old door, a good few hundred years old church door, came into my life, and I painted a guardian dragon on that, and that was an experience of kind of connecting with the spirit of that dragon. And then I think I talked about how dragons came in more and more and more over that time. I've recently sold that dragon door to a very wonderful custodian who I know fell in love with it the first time they saw it. So the dragon door is now opening doors in other people's lives. And yeah, and although dragon things were happening, I did go through for a while, as you may have noticed on the channel when I sort of mentioned that it was not the easiest of times, where it wasn't really happening, the connection with dragons, not as much. And then, I don't quite know when actually, maybe a year ago, maybe just under a year ago, a lady that I love dearly came over for a reading with me, and she was the lady that had run the retreat that I had gone on. And she didn't know that I hadn't been connecting with dragons as much, or she didn't know that I hadn't been doing any of this stuff or what was going on with me. But she turned up at my house and to see me and to have a reading, and she brought this with her. And it was dragon stick. And she just said, she gave it to me, she said, "Don't forget us." And I was like, ooh, yeah, don't forget us. That's what she said. This is from Alchemy, I think. Yeah, I think it's an alchemy one. So that was a really strong message. Every time I hold this, I go, "Don't forget us." And from that moment on, I really haven't forgotten them, and I really have been actively working and connecting with dragons so much, and particularly over the last few months as well. But yeah, they've been a very important part of my life daily, and connecting with them has been really powerful and really inspiring. Water. And I have have a dragon course on its way, and we had in the Totems Awakening Part 2 course, we delved into dragons, and it was like the dragons took over that, so they are wanting so much to kind of come forth and share their wisdom. So what I thought I would do is share some of the dragon creations that I've made, but also share some of the experiences and what's come through for me and how I've connected with the dragons. It kind of is such a kind of a big thing that, you know, you don't really know how to sort of say it sometimes. They've just been such a presence, and then when I connect with them, they bring such strength and they bring such presence. They're there. And we'll start with a couple of things that people have asked about dragons when I did a workshop on them a couple of months ago at the Awakening Gathering, and we journeyed and we connected with dragons and we connected with our guardian dragon. And a couple of questions that came up were, are dragons evil? Because, you know, there's a lot of stories and tales and myth showing dragons as evil. And my response to that is no. But what I would say is a couple of things, that they can reflect every facet of life, light and dark, chaos and calm. They're not just about fluff. And fire, although fire isn't fluff, but you know what I mean, they're more than we assume them to be. They have every facet about them, and I think sometimes good and evil are very human concepts, and they're very much dependent on what we want, what we don't want in our lives. So I think there's a bigger world, but no, what people think, it's interesting because it's what I got through, and it's not, you know, you can only say what you get, can't you? It's not saying it's the law, but what I got through is the tales of these evil, ancient, dragon-like creatures aren't actually dragons. I feel they're more this sort of reptilian beings are different to dragons because they just feel so different. And I was just looking at what other people had said about this recently, and other people have been kind of on that track as well. So that made me happy that, you know, what you're feeling is coinciding with what other people are feeling about this whole thing. Again, it's just my beliefs. I'm just showing what I've felt. This is no fact or law. It's just my personal way of seeing things at this time. That dragons, no, they're not evil. They do represent all the different facets of light and dark and calm and chaos and kindness, but they are ancient, wise beings. They are older than, you know, probably a lot of the things that we connect with, energies that we connect with. They're very, 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 very old indeed. It's said that they were companions of the gods. And they have fought, from what I've seen in meditation and journeys, fought many battles over the time. And I feel like I've had in the past a greater connection with humans than now. Again, like everything we speak about, when we talk about fairies, we are at a time where I feel like we've lost a lot of knowledge and we're regaining it, we're relearning it. And I feel that with dragon energy as well, we're relearning. And I feel that's why they've come through so much in popular culture as well as in energy, people tuning into dragon energy. It's because we are relearning and we are reopening up to the energy of dragons. Whether you believe in them or not, whether you just enjoy the idea of dragons but not necessarily going to go there and go, yeah, dragons are real, I connect with dragons, it doesn't really matter. It's your journey and you'll go on that in whichever way that suits you and makes you feel happy. But yeah, I feel like these things come up in popular culture at the right time to awaken. It goes in every facet, doesn't it? It goes, we're kind of awakening to new energy, and it comes out in popular culture as well. Maybe in a bit of a warped way, but it still comes out. So every country, every culture has something that relates to a dragon in their myth. Some have them as destructive forces, some have them as benevolent and good luck forces. If you think of dragons as well as being real energies of the land, the ley lines, when things shift and change in the land, that can be seen as a destructive force of a dragon, but can, in the greater picture, be a positive thing or a necessary thing. But we're not going to go so much into the history of dragons today. This is more about tuning in with the energy of dragons and finding ways, if you feel so drawn, to connect with your own guardian dragon and to connect with dragons that may want to teach and show you different things. I've met in my journeys and meditations and walking about in sacred space a fair few dragons, and that's been amazing. And sometimes quite sad when I've met dragons that are quite old or dying, or that the area of the land energy is depleted and they're kind of in that real slumbery ill state maybe. And also the joy of seeing in certain times many baby dragons around and younger dragons around as well. So I think also we seem to be at a time of transition and changing over energy. So there seems to be a lot of younger dragons around at the moment, baby dragon energies around. So to me, dragons are real. They may not be here that you can touch, but they have very strong and real effects on life, on my life. And as everything that I work with, connect with, the fairies and the goddesses, you may not be able to touch them like I can touch these two toy dragons here. Hello. Guarding of the laptop, but I can feel their energy, and their energy works with me and creates real change. So yeah, and the first thing to think about is if you want in any way, shape or form, there's a little bit of text out there about connecting with dragons. There's DJ Conway's written a couple of books. I know there's a few more books coming out now, and there'll be more coming in the future, but I feel we can hammer it home, but not overly enforce it. I think to be respectful. Like, I don't feel people should be scared of approaching dragons. I don't feel people should be like, I've got to be in this really solemn, serious space. But they're just got to come from a genuine place and know this is going to bring transition and change for them. Know that if you don't want to deal with the stuff, if you want to pretend everything's okay and not go into the discomfort zone, then it's okay not to deal with dragons. Because they're going to burn away etherically, energetically, and put you in situations where you will grow, where those ridiculous things that we do that are very heavy and very hard and, disruptive will be cleared away or will be brought to attention to work with. So that's quite an important thing, that I don't have to go into this journey, and if you don't feel ready, you don't feel like, wait a minute, I'm okay, I've been through a lot already, I don't need to kind of invite more transition in my life. That's cool as well. But dragon energy, it brings everything up and brings it out and creates a very strong shift in your life. And the idea is to clear away those blocks, to clear away those false perceptions of yourself and the world around, so that you can really live in your own true power and sovereignty. So for me, dragons are ancient beings of power, of actual real love. They're really a loving, and not in all different ways, because there's many different types of dragons as there are types of everything else. But there are beings of love and fierceness and strength and solemnity, can never say that, respect and honour. They are creatures of balance, and they have real purpose in the universe, in the multiverse. So some dragons are so huge, they span, travelling to different galaxies. There's space, they're connected to space and all that energy. And some dragons can be very tiny and connected to the plants and connected to the trees and of sacred land. They can work with the ley lines. This drum that I painted here represents the red and white dragons, which are huge in sort of Celtic and British myth. And the red dragon represents Wales, and the white dragon would represent the Anglo-Saxons. And in myth they battle, and in my drum they do not battle, they're in harmony, and they are the kind of the blood and the semen, here we go, the male and the female of the springs, the red and the white springs. So the red spring, that's how I painted this, and I painted this drum with water from the red and white springs mixed as well. So the red dragon here is representing not only Wales, not only the ancient Britons, but the red spring, the goddess, the female power. Though I feel like actually this is a more female dragon, that's a more male dragon, but you know, the energies is what they represent. And then the white dragon represents, well, for me as well, as this fire and ice as well. It's not just those two, it's fire and ice, it's the opposites of the sun and the solar power and the moon and the lunar power. So there's all these different energies in this drum, but there's lots of different layers. You can have it as kind of the English and the Wales, you can have it as the red and the white springs, which is kind of, because we've got Avalon, we've got Glastonbury in the background there, which the red and white springs weave through the tour. So this is representative of that. And we have a dragon parade twice a year where the red and white dragons parade through the streets in Glastonbury, which is absolutely brilliant at Beltane and Samhain. Really love that. So I created that around this time to share that energy. And it is the harmony of the two elements of the fire and the ice, as well as the sun and the moon. So it's all these different things, the goddess and the god, all these energies. And these are really prominent figures in Glastonbury. Particularly for me, the red dragon is, but both dragons are prominent in the energy of Glastonbury. And it is said that dragons, they do exist, but they exist beyond the veil of kind of us seeing it in because maybe I don't think they particularly trust humans that much after I feel like there's been a lot of betrayal. So this kind of the veils clearing on Avalon to see the dragons. That's how I see this drum and this painting. So this, yeah, that's how I see this drum and this painting. Is entering the realm of the dragons in Avalon. So you can see the dragons in the ley line, in the land, you can see dragons in the trees, in sacred sites, you can sense them in the water and in the air. There are dragons of all the elements and all the different aspects of life and more things than we know. And I've been taken to visit dragons in journeys that sort of hold court over great libraries of wisdom and who guard places of real power that are aeons old. So there's so much I don't know. I'm only sharing what I've learned and what I've gained so far this lifetime around. I'm sure I've done it before another lifetime, but and this is my dragon shield that I've created as a power object, really, as a power object to have this dragon energy with me, because it brings me courage to face things that feel bigger than me sometimes, that feel overwhelming, that feel, and that's what dragons have been really powerful for me this year. They've brought me courage and strength where I didn't feel I had it, and they can do that for you as well. I did paint another picture which I may put here, hopefully, I'll just move my hands around randomly, called Dragon Heart, and that was to remind me of the pure fire elemental connection with my dragon guardians, and the sense of, well, the quote I put on it was from a really lovely film that I've watched with I Am Dragon. I don't know if you've seen it, it's a Russian film. I really love it. It's a really lovely, beautiful film, and there's a poem in it, and it says where the light burns the dark, and I put that on the painting because I wanted to sort of have that feeling of when things feel too dark, there's always the fire of the dragon that's going to burn through it and illuminate that. And there's nothing wrong with the dark. It's actually, I don't mean it that way, but just when you feel that sense of hopelessness, really, that fire can burn through and illuminate onwards. But I'm Dragon's a gorgeous film. If you haven't seen it, I think I just saw it online actually, but and I bought it because I loved it so much. It's kind of a little bit teenagery, but it's the way it's done in the Russian language is so gorgeous. I wouldn't really want to hear it in English language. I love hearing it in the sort of dragon energy talking in the Russian language, and they've got these lovely bits of really old folklore from Russia in there, which I really, really just adored. So that was nice, and it really inspired me, that film as well, to paint that big painting of myself and a dragon guardian. Oh, sorry cobweb. The dragon says, this one here is saying, you're not talking about me, love. Come on, I'm going to fall off. So this is a starfire dragon, and this is one that I saw, again, I might have told this story before, I hope I'm not repeating myself. I do that sometimes. I've been on YouTube for like 11 years, I might repeat myself. I think about 11 years anyway, I'm not really sure how long it was. The starfire dragon is a dragon that I saw on a full moon at Lunasad while drumming on the tour, and I saw the dragon in the moon and in the clouds around the moon above the Tor. So it was almost like that was more like the moon, the sort of the August moon, and everything around was the dragon. So Starfire Dragon is a shield I created from that experience. So showing that the dragons that come in so many different, hopefully you don't fall down again, so many different forms really. I work with crystal dragons as well, so these are things that are very important and special, and I work with those for healing, for messages and for guidance that comes through, and I've been working with them for a little while, not long really, maybe, well actually, my first one since 2014, so I suppose that's 4 years, so I guess the dragons have been around longer than I thought. They've been sneaking in before I knew. And these are really healing, and they connect me on a very deep level. I've started writing about dragons and writing songs about dragons as well. So they come to inspire, to create, to bring transformation, to lift you up to your highest power, so that you can actually live your life without the unfortunate ties and binds and misconceptions that keep us small, keep us scared. And it's okay to be afraid, but it's important to find the courage to step up, to rise, and to burn through it. So yeah, I've had so many experiences with dragons in journeys, in meditations, and what I would invite you guys to do, it is a great book by DJ Conway, Dragon Magic. It's quite strict, which is fine, especially if you haven't had a Wiccan or pagan or Druid background where you've had discipline. Like, that can be quite nice. So what I like about it is it does bring that discipline. I have had quite a disciplined pagan background, so I wasn't really looking for that specific energy with the book, but I do really like the book, and I do use bits of it, but I do it in my own way because I'm a bit of a rebel like that. But I do use the tools from that book, but I'm not great at being told what to do. So I have to do things in my own way. But if you do like a real structure, this book is really, really good, and it really does show you a great path into connecting with the dragons. So that's I'll show you the book actually. It's here. It's really good. Dancing with Dragons. Dancing with Dragons is her other book. It's called Mystical Dragon Magic. Really, definitely worth the read, because there's not many books out there yet on dragon magic and connecting with dragons in a day-to-day life, and working with dragons in a magical sense as well. So what I would suggest, if you would like to connect with dragon energy and you would like to get involved with meeting dragon guides and dragon guardians, is to, well, I know I've promised lots of meditations and I probably haven't done them. What I will do, touch wood here, remind me, don't forget us, is to do a dragon meditation for YouTube. I know I need to do a Bast meditation as well, so I need to get a day and just do some meditations for you guys, because I know there's been lovely requests, and I have said I'd do things, I know I haven't as yet. So, but I think if I could maybe do a guided dragon meditation on here, that would be nice as well. If you guys want it, do let me know in the comments, etc. below, if you do want that. I will do that. And also, what you can do is to do, if you have drum journeys, if you have a drum or recorded drum journeys, to go on a drum journey to connect with your dragon guide and make that your intention. Call in your dragon guide. You can also do a ceremony, and you can do a ritual, which is lovely to do. And you can set up your altar in a way to connect with the dragons. And I think if you don't know that much about dragons, then keep it really simple. A candle, a quartz crystal, or some sort of simple crystal energy that you can really connect with, and maybe a statue or picture or some toy dragons, I don't know, or dragon stick, dragon crystal, things to just remind you of dragon energy even. And cast a circle, and yeah, call in. I mean, it's good to use things that are going to be different to your other ceremonies when you're working with dragons. So to create a circle space, maybe even using crystals, or creating a circle which has something representing the different dragon guardians around the side. It's up to you, but creating a dragon space, we could talk about that another day as well. I think there's another video looking at how to create a dragon circle. Also, go on to Dragon Feather's YouTube channel, obviously, lovely Dragon Feather. Her YouTube channel is gorgeous, and go and check out her dragon wisdom. but we might do another day a video on connecting with dragon energy in magic, if you want to. And so yeah, casting a circle or creating your own sacred space and meditating and calling in. Maybe write a letter, write it down what you want to say, because I'm not overly playing the fact that you need to be serious, but because dragons have human, dragons have that every energy that we have, but it is a serious matter to connect with your dragon guide. It's not to play with and then to kind of go off the next day and not care about. To connect with a dragon, because they're not silly. They're not going to be like, oh, this person's gone off now, I'll just wait. They're going to be like, oh, we're off, we've got better things to do, we're going to go. So this is why I had to remember them and not forget. But know that you really want this connection and that you're prepared to feed and nurture that connection, and that dragons are not something for you to use. I know none of you will think that, because everyone that watches my channel is awesome, but they're not anything for you to use. They're an amazing ancient guide. That it's a bond that's powerful, and yeah, they are wise beings. You not you have to go and put them on a huge pedestal and go, I'm not worthy, but at the same time, don't think of them as you being better, or that they're your little toy pet to play with, because they're really not. You'll know that pretty darn quick, that they are epic powers that you are honoured, and I'm honoured, hugely honoured, to connect with, and that we can create great change in ourselves and hopefully around us by connecting with them. So yeah, only do this if you feel you really want to do it, not that you're playing. We're not being spiritual tourists and having a bit there, having a bit there. This is something you can with a lot of things. I mean, probably a lot of things have a bit more patience. But dragons know, they're like, if you want to get involved properly. If not, jog on, kitty. So make sure you really want to do this. And even if you just want to call in the energy of dragons in your life, or to meet dragons that could be sharing something with you, it's just doing it with respect and doing it with honour. Journeying, I will do a meditation. There probably are other meditations online as well, but I'll do a meditation for you guys to connect with your dragon friends. And when you have that bond, it's amazing. And when you have that bond, you can be like Daenerys, but better, because those dragons are pretty harsh, even though I love them. You can ride the dragons in your journeys. You can allow them to take you to places and see different worlds or different parts of this world, to travel along the ley lines. Ley lines are dragon lines. You can have all this wonder and magic in your world. So if you're drawn to connect with dragons, then possibly it's already there. Like, if you're drawn to work with them, they're probably drawn to you, and it won't be a hard task to connect with them. It won't be a hard task to draw them in, because they're probably already around you. They're probably already sitting on your shoulder, little baby dragon, going, what's going on? So if you want to connect with dragons, then meditation is a great way, journeying is a great way, opening up that door, having something around you that's going to remind you of them, so a crystal or a statue or something like this. I don't remember them stick. And also that I create these shields, which are personal dragon totem shields as well. So having something which is a power object that you have to connect you with dragon power is really fabulous as well. Know that they're there to protect you, but they're not there as your bodyguards as such to kind of do your bidding, but they're there to work with you on a magical level and on a personal level as well. And I was at the Awakening Gathering. I've got this gorgeous set of cards. I don't think I've got them right on me at the moment. They're amazing. The Dragon Weisheit Wisdom. I'm so sorry for German speaking people that I pronounce your language so terribly. I'm trying. Dragon Weisheit cards, and the Dragon Wisdom cards, and they're all in German. I really love them. They're one of my favourite decks. And I got one of the cards because I was passing them around in the Dragon Workshop, and I got my friend Anna to translate the book, because I know all the cards mean, but I can't read all the rituals in the book, so I have to take advantage of my German speaking friends when I get them around. And she read the read the book and what's going on with this card on a deeper level. And it was really powerful, because what she said was there are light forces and dark forces in this world. And if we allow the darker forces, whatever they may be, fear is probably the biggest one, isn't it? And whatever else that you have that's coming into your life to overwhelm you and defeat you, it kills your dragon. And I was like, what? It does what? It's funny that sometimes we won't stand up for ourselves, but you're not killing my dragon. I know. So, but it was really interesting energy that they're strong ancient beings, but they are soulful beings, and to actually, for us to be in a good, powerful place is helpful for our guardian dragon as much sometimes as it is for us. So that was a bit of a powerful lesson for me in a way. And I've got some, I wish I had them with me, I'll show you another time, I'll put some photos in. I've got a dragon staff that be so made for me, and then I've got one that I bought the week as well, so dragon staff. So, you know, keeping those power, keeping those things that remind you of the warrior that you are, of the studious intellect that you are, of the creative force that you are, or the compassionate healer that you are, or all of the above, you know. Because these are, you know, to be a warrior isn't just to have a fight. It's not about fighting, but it can be about fighting those forces that may feel to be pulling you apart from inside sometimes. It may feel like just pressing down on your life. And it's not just you, it's happening to lots of people. And working with dragon energy, remembering that power, remembering that you're not just fighting sometimes for your own mood, you're kind of fighting for something a bit bigger, is, I don't know, that empowers me anyway to get going. So, again, as I mentioned, I will wrap it up now. I'm going on a little bit. Is there anything else we want to say about the dragons? Lots of things. I could share lots of experiences and places that I've been to and seen dragons, but that's sort of private. And I don't want to go on about all the journeys that I've had and all the meditations that I've had, but I would, if you want to find out more, you can do that. Go to places where you feel that there's ley lines, sacred energy, sacred sites. Tune into the dragon energy there. Sense if you can feel dragons around you in stone circles, in groves, hills, hill forts. See if you can sense dragon energy, and also then you can do some research afterwards and see if there is stories of dragons there. It doesn't matter if there's not, but there might be. Sense if you can feel dragon energy in those sacred places. So you can go out and about on your walks and see what you sense and feel. Also sense your meditations, your journeys, your dreams. Keep a dream journal. And maybe do some ritual, do some ceremony to connect with the dragon energies as well if you feel so drawn. And if you would like to find out more about that, then I will do another video about it. So, from me and the dragons, we want to say thank you for watching this video. If there's anything else you want to know about dragon energy, do let me know. I don't know everything, that's for sure, but I've been on a really cool journey with them the last few years, and they're hugely present. So if there's something you want to know about dragon energy or anything you want to work through, do drop me a message in the box below. So from me and the dragons, you are welcome to comment, ask questions. I'll do what I can to do videos that you're interested in, but I am going to do probably more dragon videos soon as well. So thank you for watching, take care, and yeah, tune to your dragons. If you do have fabulous dragon experiences, I would love to hear them. Okay, so take care guys, see you later.